Welcome to Oaa Now, your home for Oakland Activities Association news and information. Here's your host, Sammy Taramina.
Welcome to Oaa Now here. I'm Sammy Taramina, blogger of the Dragons Insider, blogger of the Dragons Den, one of the hosts of Queen Taramina's on Orion Neighborhood Television. I'd like to welcome our friends watching on Orion Neighborhood Television and also those watching on the hearing us on the local voice on SoundCloud. We got a lot to talk about this week, of course. Football dominating the headlines. Also, we got a lot of basketball news to talk about as well as we head into the Christmas holiday, New Year holiday break. Of course, a lot to talk about. What teams I'm buying, what teams I'm not buying, and we'll go over that. We'll go over that. Let's go to my main story. And it's of course the big news is out of North Farmington. Of course, they made a big coaching change. They hired John Hurston from Harrison, of course, replacing Bob Chiazza. To me, this was a really interesting hire, and I think this was a really much a it was probably much what the conclusion with Harrison closing, that it would be this way that John Hurston would get the job at North Farmington. And I think the reason why he did was because of the fact that Hurston was worked in the Farmington School District. He was a gym teacher, basically. And I think, when you look at the school district, of course, Bob Chiazza did not work in the Farmington School District, so it was pretty much made common sense to make the move. And for Hurston, it's his first varsity gig. He was a longtime assistant at Harrison under John Harrington. This one is, to me, I'm going to go with two stories. Two stories here. The first one here for me is I'm going to go with the hire Hurston. A lot of people say this is a good hire, and it is a good hire, because Hurston's going to bring that same culture that he did Adam Harrison, and I think he will do that with this team. The other one, he's got players excited, and and he's got the players at North Farmington excited. I think that he's going to do a really good job there. I think that if you look at the hire of Hurston, I think that I knew he was going to get a job somewhere. I knew he was going to get a job. I just didn't think that North Farmington would be the place that he would get the job. And, and I think he's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting how Hurston's going to respond to being the head coach now. I'm looking at the article by Marty Budner of Hometown Life. He wrote a really nice article about it. He was named the coach at North Farmington, as mentioned, and some very interesting comments he said. I'm excited. This is what Hurston said to Hometown. And he said, I'm excited to take over the position. I want to restore some of the traditions of the North Farmington program and build up on the school spirit. I love working in the community and living in the area, and I love Farmington Hills. That is true. He does love Farmington Hills. And probably the most interesting part of this hire was he works in the school district, as mentioned. He's a gym teacher. He knows the community. He knows what Harrison was going to have. Now there's going to be people that are going to say, well, with the hire Hurston, he's going to make North Farmington and Harrison. Is it possible? Sure it is. I think he could do it because of what he has and the resources that North Farmington has. Now people are going to say, well, and it's basically, he knows the tradition of and North Farmington as a football program has really struggled. Of course, when they had Todd Schultz, they really struggled. And then 2 years, and then last year, and then 2 years under Bob Chiesa. I think Chiesa has done a really good job turning that program around. But he only had 2 years. He only had 2 years to basically do that program. And I'm going to talk about Chiesa in a couple minutes. But for Hosting, the players have to be excited. And then, of course, comes the coaching staff over there. In the article I read on Hometown Life, he is bringing basically nearly everybody from Harrison over there. And he retained some of the assistant coaches there from the Chiesa administration. But for me, this is really interesting. And I think when you look at it from the end of the day here, it's basically going to be like North Farmington. It's going to be North Farmington / Harrison. And I think at the end of the day here, this is a big-time hire. This is a real big-time hire. I think if you are, I think if you really look at it, how this hire is, the Farmington people really excited, really, really excited for the community. It's going to motivate people. It's going to bring people together. And I think this is what this hire does. This is what the hire Hosting does. Now, people are going to say, well, it's going to basically be like Harrison and North Farmington. We're going to have all the success and all that. Newsflash. Newsflash. It's not going to be that easy of a fix at North Farmington than people think it gives for. But back to the coaching staff. You know who was named the assistant coach? You know who was named the assistant coach? John Harrington. John Harrington was named the assistant coach. He was named the assistant coach there. We now just have my good buddy Ian Locke just walk back here. Of course, now Ian Locke, I will get a mic here for you. You are officially on here. Ian, welcome.
What up?
Nothing much, everything going all right?
Yeah, I'm surprised to see you this early coming in.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I missed you, last week it was?
Yes. Well, here's what we were talking about.
Okay.
John Hosting. John Hosting, named new head coach at North Farmington. Taking over for Bob Chiesa.
Okay.
And
surprising change?
It was surprising. Really surprising. I want to get your thoughts on this hire. Hosting, of course, a longtime assistant coach at Harrison.
Okay. Pedigree.
I want to get your thoughts on the hire here. I think with this hire, kind of really much sets up it kind of sets up North Farmington to be virtually like Harrison.
Oh, wow.
And you know who Hosting named as his quarterbacks and running backs coach?
No.
John Harrington.
What did I say?
Yeah.
Don't you think he might show up someplace, not as a head coach, but maybe as some, right?
Well, remember, he has experience. He was at North Farmington.
Oh, yeah.
He was at North Farmington before he got to Harrison.
Okay, I did. That was a long time ago.
Yes.
I mean, long time ago.
And you got Dave Thorne, who is going to be the defensive coordinator. He was at Harrison last year, defensive coordinator there.
Okay.
And
so it's like
Harrison
Light.
Harrison Light.
Harrison South?
Harrison Light.
South?
It's North.
North?
So I want to get your thoughts on Hosting's hire. And I think it was and virtually, and the Hometown Life article here I got says that he wanted to keep everybody together. He wanted to keep everybody together, and that he was familiar with the Farmington schools in the community.
Yeah.
He's looking forward to bringing some of the same traditions and coaching styles we had at Harrison over the North. So that tells you something.
So did the previous coach there at North step down?
I'm going to ask this to you in a minute. I think this was like a coup happened. Remember with Harrison? Remember how Harrison had to close out their was closing?
Yeah, they're shutting down.
They're shutting down.
Yeah, we talked about that for a year.
Hosting was Hursting was in the school district as a employee
At Harrison.
at Harrison.
Ah.
So do the math how this is going.
Yeah.
Chiesa did not work in the Farmington School District.
Okay.
So do the math here.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to bring somebody in who works in your school district.
Usually, that's usually the case.
Yes, it is. It's usually the case.
I mean, and that's in all levels of sport. You got
Right.
You got.
So this is very similar, Ian.
Yeah.
Very similar. How would you? I mean, like it's basically.
Wow.
So Bob Chiesa did talk to me. We had a little chat on email.
Okay.
Thanked me for giving us some ideas. You know what I mean? But here's something here that I look at with Chiesa. There's a couple of football vacancies open. And I think a couple of jobs would make perfect sense for Chiesa. There's a job in Walled Lake called Walled Lake Central.
Ooh. I didn't know there was an opening.
There was there.
So is there I haven't talked to you in a week or a week and a half?
Week and a half.
And so the dominoes, are they falling in the football ranks of the coaches? Are they kind of starting to ramp up?
They're starting to ramp up. I mean, we're going to also talk about the situation over at Pontiac, of course, with Charles Kelly being out.
Again.
But this is the big story. A lot
huge.
of people are going to say, well, North Farmington's going to be like Harrison. They're going to be very similar to Harrison. They're going to need all the Harrison kids to come over there. It's possible.
You think so? Well, we were talking about that. They go, what from the ashes of Harrison, what will you see? Will they move?
Considering that people are going to say, well, North Farmington, is virtually going to become the new Harrison.
Yes.
That's what it's looking like. Now you have a team in Farmington who made the playoffs last year, and Corey Soroch, and people are going to say, well, that Farmington Cup is going to probably come to North for a little while.
Yeah. And having this is a really interesting development because I don't see a lot of kids bailing to a new school district. But I don't know what the rules are.
But
when
Harrison
your school shuts down, what do you get to do?
Harrison was in the Farmington School District.
Yes.
So think about it.
Yeah, true.
You think about it. So that's a stunning development. John Hursting, of course, I was personally calling for Hursting to get a couple jobs. I thought he would get the Berkeley job. Didn't happen. I thought
he's probably holding out.
I thought he was going to. And then, of course, I thought he was going to get the North Farmington job. Didn't happen. Then I thought he was going to get the Farmington job.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. You know what I mean? Now he's got the North Farmington job basically given to him by the school district.
Yes. The only thing with the students from Harrison, here in Lake Orion, how they redistrict everybody to balance the classes, make sure everybody's kind of balanced.
But this is a whole school district.
This I know, but with the school shutting down, the district might be drawing those boundaries of where you will go and where you will not. So
I think they could be.
So you can't pick and choose because you're like, maybe everybody from Harrison rolls over to
if you pick and choose,
follow their coach over
to the. If you pick and choose, you know what I mean? Like
it could be an imbalance.
Yeah, it could be an imbalance, and they're not going to be subject to the administrative transfer rule because Harrison
it's
shut
in
down.
District. Yeah,
it's in district too.
Correct.
So basically, you're saying, okay, I either want to play for Corey Soroch at Farmington, or I want to go play for John Hursting over at North Farmington. So,
this is a very when you say intriguing, this is an interesting development.
It is.
Wow.
It is a really interesting development.
Wow, to have virtually the whole coaching staff go over and
go from Harrison to North Farmington.
I mean, and how long were the assistants with the master himself? Long time. Yes. So
you're bringing an experienced coaching staff.
Continuity.
There's continuity.
Everybody's on the same page.
Everybody's on the same page.
Yep.
I mean, I want to get your thoughts on what were you thinking beforehand?
Well, I had nothing, dude. My mind is empty. I didn't know this was taking place. Like I said, I haven't talked to you in about a week and a half.
Yeah, it's on Hometown Life if you want to look at it.
But
it's on Hometown Life.
Okay, yeah, check it out. Because for sitting here thinking and trying to digest it, you hit me with that. Just walking in and sitting down. I just took my coat off. The first thing that popped in my head was what are the kids thinking? One, it's always a bummer when your coaches go.
If you're a senior, it's your third coach in 4 years.
Yes, yeah, but the quality of coaching coming in,
it's state championship legendary experience.
It's fantastic.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, they know of them. Or they might even have camps with them. Who knows? So, I mean, there's got to be a familiarity.
So now when you look at it now, with North Farmington's football program, you are bringing back that JV program. That's not even a question.
Yes.
And now you have that freshman program, and now you have that varsity program. You now basically going to have 3 programs basically competing, and you're right now looking at possibly the odds-on favorite in the blue division right now.
Ooh, you're jumping that far.
They got experience back and they got some talent back.
It depends on the senior class. How many are they losing? As always, right? You lose your senior class.
But they got a lot back. You know what I mean?
If you get a lot back, then I'd say then you're on your way.
But I feel bad for Chiesa, though. I feel really bad for him.
But that's kind of the nature of the beast. Like you said, you're in district and they're sliding people around. We've seen coaches that are out of district, non-district employees,
right,
that do a good job. They do a good job. But ultimately, there's times where there can be friction, there can be issues, that sort of thing.
Right, and it leads to
are they staying? Are they going? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and basically here,
if you're an employee of the district, they know you. You're on the record. You're on the rolls. You're there already.
Yeah, makes sense.
And I'm in a way, I can see where you say you're sad because. I don't think he's out for anything he's done.
He's done a good job of that program.
I mean,
you turned that team around a little bit.
And you made the playoffs.
No, they didn't make the playoffs.
I thought you said made the playoffs.
That was Farmington.
Oh, Farmington made the playoffs. Okay. So, you turn it around. You're doing a good job. He should be able to be picked up someplace. But to have that.
If he goes to Wall Lake Central, that's perfect for him.
Yeah. But to have that coaching staff from Harrison.
Yeah.
You can't say no.
No.
You have to. That's a no-brainer for North.
That is a no-brainer. Though.
Completely.
And a lot of people are very excited over there at North.
Heck yeah.
Because this is a big-time hire with John Hurston. Because he's going to get that program, and that program's going to be turned around real quick.
Wow. Wow, what news, dude? We need our breaking news zapper. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, you're in the hot seat. He's sitting over on the board, and I'm sitting on the guest seat. That's funny.
That's
wow.
Funny.
Well, that's I'm glad I sat down when I did because that's some interesting information. I mean, it definitely gets the water cooler talk going.
Oh yeah, it gets the water cooler going, and then we got other breaking news too. Charles Talley out at Pontiac. That was not a surprise.
No, I mean, can they? The turnover is so tough. Over there,
it's brutal over there. The record at Pontiac has been just abysmal.
Yeah,
it has not been good. I mean, Pontiac 5-48 since 2012.
I mean, I'm always rooting for the Phoenix. You want them to get back to that old glory again, but it's so difficult. Contracting, the school districts contracting, getting smaller. Kids have other things going on, or they have a lot of challenges over there in Pontiac. But I got to give it to the hand to the coaches who take that on and work with those kids and put their time in and do the best they can with what they have.
They do.
And sometimes they surprise people, but it's unfortunate that we have another coach.
It's going to be in Pontiac. When I look at that football job, it's kind of very toxic. To be honest with you.
You think so?
Because
losing is difficult.
You don't have the stability. You're going into battle. You're battling. You're trying to get kids to come out and play football. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then practice time. It's not easy to do. You got to drive kids to school to practice and all that. Yeah. It's not easy. It's a struggle over there.
Yeah. I mean, when you use the word toxic, sometimes you think there's outside forces.
Not that type of
that sort
outside
of thing.
Forces, but it's very difficult.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's very difficult.
It's tough to see programs out of Pontiac who are so good for so many years, and you go, oh man, when Pontiac rolled into town, you're going to get a physical battle, right?
Well,
and then things started happening over there, economically,
and then all of a sudden it's just bad things.
It's just tough.
It's tough.
That's too bad. You at least get 2 years out of somebody, or 3 or 4. Just try to hang, but
it's tough.
You get it. I get it.
It's tough. When you look at that, that's right now the only vacancy in OA right now. With that job there, over at Pontiac.
Yeah.
But
I don't think anybody, none of the schools did so crazy bad or weird things happened that you might have an unexpected departure. Maybe somebody moving on at the end of the school year if you're part of a school district.
It's brutal when you look at it, Ian. It is so brutal. I mean, I feel so bad for those kids down there. I feel so bad for them.
Yeah, it's tough.
Having to go through another coach, having to go through all the constant struggles they've had to go through.
And changing
they
coach,
need stability down.
Yes, and
they
changing
need stability.
Correct. And changing coaches like that makes it less desirable for kids to come back or come out.
And then you have kids that leave. When they come from Pontiac Middle School, they'll go to your brother Rice, West Bloomfield, or Avondale, or
and some are leaking over. Some are leaking over to Waterford too.
Waterford,
you transfer out or.
Because of the situation over there. Now, Pontiac is getting better as a school district. Have you noticed they put a new field in, new track there? They redid the fields and all that over there in Pontiac. They redid everything,
Yeah, I don't think we've been on the road for track and stuff down to Pontiac, and we're not in the same division, so unless we usually meet up at invitationals, maybe.
Yeah, but still.
But yeah, that's good. I mean, hey, that means the district's still behind them. There's got to be at least parents still pushing for it and supporting
was not in the consent agreement anymore. They were not in that state consent agreement anymore. They have got their finances back on track to what I heard.
That could be a whole its own radio show, dude. That mess over there. It's
been very difficult.
I have friends who teach down in Pontiac. And I could share you some stories of the financial stuff going on down there. But it's good that if they're turning around and all that stuff leaks down to the kids. You see it and you try to get up for that. Usually sports is a release from bad news.
It really is. It really is.
It's something that is a way to escape,
it really
to do something different, get away. But that's too bad. But I know they're going to get somebody else. And,
if he's there long term, I think it's going to be better for those kids.
Yeah.
Because that's who they need. They need a coach there that brings stability.
Mm-hmm.
They need a coach there that can definitely do that.
I agree.
Yep.
Yeah. But that goes with any other school or any other team, right? The turnovers, and we've seen some one year.
A lot of coaches.
1 year, one out. 1 year,
a lot
one
of
out.
coaches have been through that. And it not only goes into football, but also goes into basketball.
Exactly. So, Pontiac's not unique in that situation where you got people coming in, coming out every year, and it's all you hope they can recover and hope they can catch back up.
Well, let's go from football. Let's go to basketball now.
Well, here's this. I've been kind of in a bubble.
You've been in a bubble.
Yeah, dude. I hear some wins from some big wins and some. How is everybody doing?
Well, in the league? We just started league play in boys basketball. Let's go from division by division committee here. First the OA. Let's go to the blue division.
Okay.
Pontiac right now is arguably the best team in the blue division right now. 7-0 right now. Beat Ferndale in overtime, 72-67.
Wow.
And
good for them.
I think the difference is their experience. When you look at Pontiac basketball, they're back.
Yeah.
They had that win against Clarkson. That's huge for them. And then
and that was at their place, right?
That was at Cy Green. Yep, Cy Green Gym.
Good for
and
them.
The game with Ferndale was actually at Ferndale.
Whoa.
So that was a big win
road win. Yeah.
And we know about Ferndale with all those transfers. I just found out that some will be playing in the second semester.
Okay, so they set out.
They set out.
Right, I mean, we thought those were the rules.
We thought that was the rules, yeah. Well, the new rules kick in effect next year.
Next year.
Yeah. And but for Pontiac, they got the Cole brothers. They got Dominic Stovall. Big win for Josh Schroeder and his team. And let's look at and Oxford, of course, knocking off Royal Oak. That was a good win for Oxford. I think when I look at the blue division and
because you were picking is between Oxford and
Pontiac, and Ferndale.
Yeah.
But one game that gave me a head scratcher, and this is probably my rant of the week. Harrison 40, Seaholm 39.
Seaholm 39.
That was at Birmingham.
Oh, boy.
Here's why. Mike DeGita, the head coach there, took a gamble last year. Took a gamble
Okay.
with his team in the white division. Had a boatload of experience on that team. If Seaholm would have stayed in the blue that year, they would have been competing with Lake Orion. They would have been competing with Lake Orion. Do I think they would have won the division? No. They would have had a much better season. Instead, they finished 3-17. Tied with Oxford.
Yeah.
They're forced to go out in the blue with the younger team. Now you play Harrison, who is in their last year as a school.
And
probably the worst organized team I've seen in years. And for them to lay that effort, that was a team that they should beat. Don't get me started how young they were. Because that loss, to me, clearly reflects on the gear.
Ooh.
That loss clearly reflects on the gear. Not on the players, on the gear. Because he took a gamble last year. To keep his team, to move his team up the white. Didn't work out, and now they're suffering right now.
Did they get does the coach have a say in the matter? If you're going up and down? I thought it was league tells you, you're going here, you're going there.
Well, they went down the blue.
I know, but you're saying the coach took a gamble. But is it the coach have a say in that? Usually,
yeah, he does have a say.
They do have a say in what division. Really?
Have a say.
Okay.
But
that's something I figured the OAA gives you your marching orders.
They do have a say. You know what I mean?
Okay.
When you have a coaches meetings, and then you have the coaches meetings, and then you have the athletic director meetings. You know what I mean? Everything works in the that way.
Yeah, I figured the league just said, here you are.
Yeah, but
okay.
Back to Seal.
Yeah.
I mean, and Berkeley blew out Hazel Park. That was the other one.
That's not a big shocker, is it?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
But to me, this is my head scratcher. Seaholm, they're coming off a tough loss to Groves. They're very competitive in that game. To play like that against Harrison, a team that's beaten two academies. And for them to play that effort against Harrison's not that good. They're not that good. And for them to only score 39 points against them and lose.
That's tough. Did they have any injuries? Is there anything
No,
out?
They're young. But that's still, that JV team they had last year, who's now up on varsity, was very successful.
Well, what do we say, Sam?
I know it doesn't always translate.
Yes.
It doesn't translate.
I'm using your words.
That is an inexcusable loss for Seaholm. That is inexcusable for them to lose to Harrison. Harrison's not that good. They're not. I mean, the two other wins prior to was against Detroit Hope of Academy, and I know I gotta remember the other one, but it wasn't good.
Well, maybe it sparks them. Maybe it wakes them up. Sometimes that happens.
I don't know.
We've seen it before. Like some teams, you come out of the gate, and if they're young, they're still trying to find their sea legs. You go into a hostile environment. I'm not making excuses, but
I know
I've been on young teams. I've been on veteran teams.
Yes.
Obviously swimming doesn't translate.
Still, that's a terrible loss.
But it is a bad loss.
It's a horrible loss.
But maybe it wakes them up.
And I think this loss reflects on Mike DeGeter. This loss reflects on him.
It could, but it could also reflect on the talent he's got running. Maybe the guys just aren't there yet. Or were your expectations too high? Well, one thing about Harrison, it's like, what is their complement of players? Do they have a full, they got like 10 guys? They got 12 guys?
They got 13 to what
13, okay.
But still, that's inexcusable.
But,
That's inexcusable. Let's go from the blue division to the white. Of course, we didn't talk much about Berkeley's.
I wanted to ask you a question quick about Oxford. What are we looking at Oxford? Because they're one of your favorites, right?
They're one of my favorites, yes.
So what's their overall right now?
They're right now, they haven't lost yet.
Okay.
But they gotta play, gotta look at the schedule, mine. I mean, like with Oxford, but right now they're looking really good. Okay. It wouldn't surprise me. And I know Oxford's still got to go to Ferndale in January, but if they win that game, it wouldn't surprise me if they're undefeated heading to the Lake Orion game. It really wouldn't surprise me. But they got to win that game at Ferndale.
Okay.
That's going to be brutal.
So far, they're kind of tracking the way you thought they would.
Mm-hmm. Let's go from the blue to the white.
Yeah.
Let's go. I mean, like, Adams beating Farmington 58-38 by 20. Gunnar Walters officially back for Adams. To go along with Ethan Emerson. Emerson was a huge difference in that one, but I was really surprised how Farmington lost that game by 20 to Adams. Adams is going to be very good this year.
Yeah.
They are very good.
That's what you had that going in the preview. Yeah.
Yes, I did. I said, Adams was a team that was worth watching this year.
Absolutely.
Stony Creek beat Athens 72-59.
Ooh.
Good win for Stony Creek.
Yeah, very good.
Southfield beat Rochester, I believe 65-47.
Ooh, boy.
Good win for Southfield Arts and Tech. And
anybody surprising you in the white?
Nah, well, besides Avondale's struggles, I mean, like Avondale, I know has been struggling. I'm really surprised how they've been. I know they picked up a loss the other night. But Avondale's start is kind of really surprising me. I didn't expect that. I didn't think that. I knew Adams would be very good. Farmington kind of disappointed me a little bit with their with that game against Adams. I thought they would play much better than they did against them. That game was at Rochester, and Farmington usually does not play really well on the road. Of course, ask Lake Orion that last year when they went up there and they just got walloped. But Farmington, I think they're fine. You still got Tariq Shepard, Jared Atkins, and Tariq Humes. I think they're going to be fine going forward.
And the one thing we haven't heard yet, and this probably goes to all the divisions, is injuries to key players. No news on that sort of thing.
Well,
right? So
I think that's
injuries happen,
and that goes into my next topic in the red. Of course, Clarkston knocked off Lake Orion.
They did.
They did. It was 58-37.
Oh boy,
and that was.
So Lake Orion's shooting kind of dried up on me.
No, I would say
or better defense.
That game was just horrible played by the Dragons in that game. That was just mind-boggling. Now, Jack Cummings not 100%.
Okay.
Got teed up in that game.
Oh no.
Along with Coach Jim Mansell, he got teed up as well. But to that game, Lake Orion just couldn't shoot well. They just didn't shoot well.
Which is odd because we've seen 3 games so far this season. We've seen here at ONTV and Dragon Broadcasting.
Yeah, Nate Talbot really struggled in that game.
Wow, but they've been pretty solid from outside and inside out game, and in scoring in the paint and scoring outside. So I bet it just kind of dried up on them.
I think it was this, kind of like the perfect storm kind of happened this team.
Is that the night they dedicated the court to?
No, they did not. That was the Wayne Memorial game.
Okay, because I was like, if they did.
Clarkson's freshmen actually played well. They put up, Fletcher Lawyer at 21, Keegan Wasilk at 13.
So he was in.
He was in, yes.
So.
And but here's my question to you: freshmen usually play well on their home court. They usually
typically
do. But when they're on the road, bad things happen. Really bad things happen. And Clarkson, let's not forget. Even though they're 4-2 right now, all 4 of the wins have been at home.
Yes.
When they're on the road, they're 0-2.
Oh, and the second one was Pontiac. Who was the second one?
Sterling Heights Stevenson.
Okay. So, and those were early.
Those were early.
Right? Were they were like 1-1 and right? So I would say that might be growing pains too. But the quality of those freshmen for the Wolves are of a high caliber.
Yes, and you put them with Matt Nicholson, who's a big 7-footer, But let's go back from Clarkson. Let's go to Lake Orion.
Yeah.
Don't press the panic button on the Dragons. Don't. Because there was a couple things that went on. Isaiah Harris did not play. Academic decision there. And then
gotta keep your grades up, kids.
Yep. And then of course Jack Cummings not 100%, battling ankle injury, and he did not end up battling a sickness. So he wasn't 100%.
That time of year, dude, it bites you.
And it's just like Orion looked out of sync.
Yeah.
They just looked out of sync.
And that happens, especially if you got some key guys that are out and you get some new dudes in, and it's timing, it's chemistry, right? We talked about chemistry.
Yep. So don't say like, Lake Orion's dead and all that. Well, don't say that. They are not.
What's their overall record? The eyeball.
They're 5-1 right now.
Okay, so the eyeball test for me, being at the game and then seeing all the replays and the highlights, excuse me, is that they are a mature team.
They're fine.
The eyeball test says they look good.
They're fine.
As long as they play defense, they're all right.
As long as they play defense, and they got to play better on that end of the court defensively. They did not look good against Clarkston the other night. Now,
see, Clarkston, they light them up from outside. They kill them in inside, or is it all a balanced attack?
Balanced attack. But Lawyer and Wasilic had big games in that one. But a game that really gave me a head scratcher.
Another one
was Bloomfield Hills 46, North Farmington 42.
Ooh.
Here's why.
Close game.
Bloomfield Hills lost by 2 to Rochester.
Oh.
Rochester, we talked about.
Yeah, they were having a hard time.
They're terrible. And they lose to them by 2. Bloomfield Hills has had a ton of head scratchers for me.
Yeah.
I mean, they look really good against some teams. They look good against Avondale, look good against North Farmington, but the Rochester game was kind of a head scratch for me.
Yeah.
Now, North Farmington had all this hype surrounding them. They were undefeated coming into that game, and yet they go lay an egg.
Overconfidence?
Todd Negocian, well, no, here's the thing. Bloomfield Hills has North Farmington's number. They have won 3 straight against North Farmington.
Confidence going in.
3 straight against them. So
it sounds like it's between the ears.
So
don't you?
Todd Negocian, of course, North Farmington's coach, talked to my prep zone Scott Bernstein.
Okay.
And said Bloomfield Hills played like a team. We play like a bunch of individuals.
And in basketball, what happens? You lose.
You lose if you play individual. You lose. You lose.
That's in any sport. It's like what we're saying, like soccer. He's my buddy. My son's in youth soccer. You go, if you don't pass the ball, you lose, right? If you don't play as a unit, you lose.
You lose.
Individual can't carry the whole team. Yeah, they go on all levels of sport.
And then
except diving, you're an individual.
Yeah, Bloomfield Hills. That's not a good team there.
Yeah,
even though Mason Canfield's a really good player. Now they got to go Friday night play Traverse City West.
Ooh,
up in Traverse City.
Nice area.
Nice
area, Traverse City.
Nice area.
Tough sporting teams up there, though.
Yeah, they gotta go all the way up north.
Yeah.
Gotta go all the way up north.
On a Friday, on the weekend before Christmas.
Hey, it's a good Christmas gift for you. If you get like a nice bus, go up there. Yeah, get a nice bus up there.
Go skiing.
Yep, nice bus up there. Go skiing and all that. And then the other one was
that's a long way to go.
Oak Park beat Birmingham Detroit Country Day the other night.
Really?
Oak Park looking really good.
Not really a surprise there. I mean,
no, Malik Carr had 3 dunks though.
Nice.
He had 3 dunks. According 2 of them were and ones.
Oh.
Yep. So basically, that tells you
no
how good Oak Park
breakaways. So he's working hard for him.
So that tells you how good Oak Park is. They are really good.
Any highlights of those dunks? Love to throw those up.
I will search them up on Twitter.
Okay.
It is up there.
So maybe we'll get the video going.
And the last game was West Bloomfield beat Troy 60. I believe it was 69-57. Brody Parker for Troy, real deal. I mean, like he had 26 of their points.
Wow.
I mean, like Brody Parker's arguably Troy's top player for Coach Gary Freilich.
Yeah.
West Bloomfield, of course, they have a guy, Donovan Moore, really talented player, by the way. Really good player, really good talented player. What's your thoughts on the Red right now?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Oak Park, if they're rolling.
You got Clarkston, you got West Bloomfield.
There's, a lot of good teams, and they all, all the teams are kind of leveling out. Like they're playing, they're beating the teams they're supposed to be beat, right? I don't know.
North Farmington to me is probably the biggest head scratcher.
When do we run into the biggest, like a nice matchup between like the top 3 in the Red?
Well, right now, Clarkson plays West Bloomfield Friday night.
Okay, that should be an interesting.
That'll be at West Bloomfield.
Okay, on the road, so you'll see if your theory holds true.
My theory holds true. You got Lake Orion at Troy. That's going to be an interesting matchup. 2-0-1 teams there battling out, and then of course you have Oak Park and North Farmington. How in the heck does North Farmington respond after losing virtually to the worst team in the Bloomfield Hills? How do they respond?
Well, especially having that team roll in that they got to go against.
Yeah.
They're going to have to play a perfect game.
That's not going to be easy.
No.
That's not going to
But maybe it's gut check time. Is it too early for a gut check?
Maybe.
You know? Might be too early in this season. I mean, it's still relatively early.
It's still early. It's still
but I would
really
say
early.
I would say a lot of this, where are the chips falling in the red is going to come around the third and fourth conference game.
We'll know
and you'll know
them.
for sure what's happening and watching the trend. How do these teams perform on the road? Because if you can't go, what is it? Oh, his coaches always said you got to go 500 on the road.
Yep.
And undefeated at home.
Yep.
And that translates to the high school game as well.
It does. It always does.
And if you can go 500 on the road, you're doing all right.
Let's go to girls now. Let's go to girls
Yeah,
basketball.
what's going on? Need some news.
Need some late. Of course, the Oaa Lakes Valley Showcase happened this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, the Oaa did not look good. They lost 5-4 in that Lakes Valley Challenge.
Oh, it was close, though.
It was really close. A couple teams that I thought played outstanding. The Stony Creek Cougars. I call them Team Fine Bob. They look good. You look at, and I watched them against Waterford Kettering. They are the real deal.
Wow.
I mean, I love what Kellen James' team's done. You got players like Lily DePanny, who I think's the most underrated point guard in the state of Michigan.
Wow.
And then you have Megan Solik, of course. A lot of people know her for her defensive prowess. She goes up, hits a couple threes. Emily Eckhout didn't really play a good game, but she played well in some spurts defensively.
Yeah.
And but Stony Creek, to me, I'll tell you what, that is a team I am not looking forward to playing because that is a team and a well good coaching staff and Kellen James that I think is going to really get that. I think Stony Creek's the real deal. They are the real deal. They are a buzzsaw. Do I think, are they better than the two top teams in the red division like Royal Oak and Clarkson? I think they give Royal Oak problems, but I don't think they're going to give Southfield any problems. But Southfield, arguably, they look really good as well. They knocked off Carmen Ainsworth.
Whoa, yeah.
Carmen Ainsworth's a really good team.
Yes.
Michelle Marshall's got that team rolling. They also
as expected.
Yep, and they also picked up a big win against Saginaw Heritage. Of course, they won that one. That was a huge win for them as well. So Southfield right now
traveling north for some
no,
competition?
they didn't travel north. They had tournaments.
Was it down here? Okay.
They had some tournaments.
Where was that? What was that held?
That was the Southfield games were held. It was held at Detroit Edison.
Oh, okay.
And they just came off a win against Waterford Kettering. Waterford Kettering right
having
now
a hard
has got
time.
three losses right now,
Yeah.
which is kind of mind-boggling.
Well, graduation is a silly thing sometimes.
And then of course let's look at them. Clarkston.
Yeah. Where
they're
are
off
they
to an 0-3 start.
Oh.
John Wire taking over that team. They're very young. I mean, Taylor Eaton's virtually their top player.
Very young. Can they use that excuse?
But they've been very competitive though in their losses. Lost 52-45 to Warren Cousineau. Difference in that was a bad first quarter.
Yeah.
And then I saw him against Wall Lake Western. I thought Clarkson was in that game for about 3.5 quarters. They were in that game. They battled, competed. I didn't think Wall Lake Western was that good.
Okay.
I was not impressed with Steve Evans.
Think they were fatigued?
No, I didn't think they were, but they got a lot of use on that team.
Some mistakes.
They got 2 freshmen. They play a lot. I really like one of them. I think she's going to be really good. And Royal Oak, they didn't look good against Royal Oak Shrine, 48-40. That was a really tough, close game there, but I know Brian Zapata, the coach at Royal Oak, was really excited for that team.
Yeah.
I mean, going forward.
I mean, anytime you tag a W against the Wolves, it's something you put your
head on.
Oh,
yeah.
you put a little badge on.
Put a little badge on, but this year Clarkson's girls are a little bit down, very young.
Well, if they're competitive, that's one thing. They're not getting rolled, right?
They're not getting rolled. They're playing a ridiculously tough non-conference.
Yes, and you mentioned that before.
And that could put a strain on anybody.
Correct. But if they're competitive against quality opponents, that's only going to bode well for them as the season rolls along. And you know they're going to improve.
Mm-hmm. You know they're going to improve. But still, I mean, that's a really tough ordeal right there.
Yeah, 0-3 is tough to get out of it. How do you get out of it?
Bloomfield Hills, of course, I believe they're 2-1. They came off a blowout against Our Lady of the Lakes. They lost to Wall Lake Central in overtime. Now Bloomfield Hills did not have Jordan Banks, who their only true big, was actually suspended for that game.
Oh no.
Got in some trouble. Got in some trouble there. I mean, like, so she was out for that one game. Could have used her, but they were in overtime. But the team in the red, I was really disappointed with this North Farmington. North Farmington off to an 0-3 start.
Oh.
Did not look good against South Lyon East. 61-49 on their home court. Just head scratcher there.
Now North Farmington, they weren't just moved up, were they? I mean,
no,
they've
they
been
were
around
in
a while.
the red. They were in the red. Yeah.
So it's
when you don't have the big, when you don't have Sam Cherney there anymore, it's gonna kind of really take some time for them to develop. And I know Molly Simpson, Maya Keller are doing everything they can.
Yeah.
But
especially if your offense rolls through a big
like Cherney, especially they had last year.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really.
That's almost retooling your whole offense to find out.
It is.
To find points.
Is. Yeah. And then you have Groves. Groves is going to have a long year. They're going to have a long year. They did not look good against Lake Orion at all. The Dragons put up 48 on them, 48-22. Ali Rupridge is their only solid big. Their best player, arguably, is Rupridge. It's going to be a long year for Jessica Wiesner and her team. Let's go to the white a little bit here. Then we'll go to the blue. Then we'll look forward to your Christmas spirits. The white division, I think I watched West Bloomfield against Walled Lake Northern.
Okay.
And Maya Bobo's the real deal. 28 points.
Wow.
Dribble driver, can shoot 3-ball. She is the engine that makes West Bloomfield go. And here's the thing against Walled Lake Northern. She did not start.
Whoa.
She didn't start.
For a reason? Or
I guess it was discipline reasons, I believe.
Usually the case?
Usually the case, but if Bubbo's not starting, that's a problem. Bubbo has to start for that team. And
well, she did all right coming off the bench.
But then again, Walled Lake Northern, they are not good. Walled Lake Northern is not good at all. And I was just beyond. They gave Bobo everything she wanted. She dribble drived it. Bobo became a facilitator.
Yeah.
And basically, Bobo's basically West Bloomfield's team.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
What was the score of that one?
That was 61 to 30. I think it was 61.
And she had 28?
She had 28 of it. It was brutal.
So she's half their scoring.
Yeah. Bobo's really good. There's a reason why she's one of the top players in Oakland County.
But you got to watch out for that setup. You got all your eggs in one basket. Something happens.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Oxford right now off to a 1-2 start. They lost to Romeo the other night.
Oh, really?
They got Lake Orion on Thursday night. That'll be very interesting. The Dragons right now quietly moving along.
How are they sitting? I haven't seen one game.
Dragons right now sit 3-0. They're quietly moving along under first-year coach Bob Bridges.
And healthy?
Yes.
And what a nightmare last year.
Remember, it was.
I mean, the injuries last year. I'm glad they're healthy because I think it was by this time last year. This time
the injuries.
The ankles start giving
the
out.
Injuries.
Everybody started getting hurt, dropping like flies.
The injuries bugged us. But right
So
now,
they're
Lake
hanging in
Orion
there.
rolling along there. Oxford, of course, they rely a lot on Ashley Hirschman to carry that team over there. So it'll be very interesting on Thursday night there. Avondale, they've been blowing people out, but they haven't really played anybody yet.
Okay.
They haven't really played anybody yet. I haven't seen them play. Troy Athens, I've seen them play. I really wasn't impressed how they played against Milford at Stony Creek. I really was not impressed. But I think when you look at Troy Athens, they rely a lot on the three-point shot. They rely a lot on Isabel Crum.
Feast or famine in the three?
They're feast or famine, yeah. They are a feast and famine team. A team that's going to be really good to keep an eye on is Troy.
Okay.
Because Troy's got a 6'2 freshman.
Whoa.
Who plays inside out. Her name is Kendall Zetter.
Name to watch, eh?
Yep.
6'2 freshman who can
6'2"
shoot it from outside
shoot
and
from the outside, play inside.
Wow.
She basically reminds you, she's like a borderline. She reminds me a little bit of Maddie Novak a little bit.
Okay.
Reminds me a little bit of, she's a lefty, by the way.
And that's another wrinkle.
And she's a lefty, so
you guarding a southpaw can be, it'll
hard.
throw you for a loop sometimes.
And then you put her together with Emily Olson. They got three other shooters who are solid. You got Dina Sampson in the post. I mean, Seven Bottles got a really good thing going on.
You can't underestimate the bonus of having a solid big in the women's game.
No.
Because they can take over games.
Yes,
if they're utilized right and they have the right skill set going, they can dominate.
They can. And that's what Troy has right now.
Wow.
Farmington did not look good against South Lyon. They basically blew an 8-point lead in that game.
Oh, that's tough.
Yep. So Farmington, they got a very good player though. I like Athea Ramson, really good, talented player. They got others. I like Celia Norris is not a bad player either. For Laura Guzman's team, but I didn't think they looked really impressive. Now Farmington, and they played Milford earlier in the week. Farmington did not look good in that game against Milford.
Milford can throw teams at you though, man. They got a lot of athletes out there.
Well, Dave Brown's got a young team over there. Dave Brown's got a very young team over there. And then the Blue Division, of course, Rochester didn't look good against them. But then again, Rochester played Birmingham Marion. We know how that went. I think Seaholm, I'm not a big fan of them. Seaholm did not look good the other night at all. Berkeley could be an interesting team to watch.
Okay.
Even though they did not look good against Shrine. Against Bishop Bully, they didn't look good against them. They only won 28-20. Pontiac right now, they're looking good right now. But and then of course Oak Park, they're looking good right now. But if there's one team I'm really, really upset about and really disturbed about, Hazel Park.
Hazel Park.
Because I watched their game at Walled Lake Northern against Lakeland.
What are you out scouting?
Well,
maybe. Or you're just a big fan?
Big fan. But their body language was
really
horrendous. Just one of their players, their body language was just horrendous. She was just
checked out.
She just was snoozing, sleeping. She was just, going like putting her leg up, her leg on her knee. You know what I mean? All that. Just felt disinterested. I didn't like that too well. I really didn't.
What made it feel well? Who knows?
No, that's not it.
Yeah.
So now Hazel Park, and then to make matters worse, on that Tuesday night they were blown out 65-16 by Avondale.
16.
65-16.
Yikes.
Yeah. That's scary.
See, yes, that is scary because we've seen, I don't want to say seasons lost. You can get beat so badly that if you have a fragile ego or confidence.
I like two players they got. A couple players. I like a couple players in that Hazel Park team.
Well, they got to watch out. I mean, if you hang 16 only,
yeah,
you hope they bounce back. So I'd say the next two games are key to see them. What's their mindset going forward.
It's going to be difficult for them. It's going to be really difficult for them.
Wow,
that's brutal.
Yeah, that's tough.
I mean,
that's what you call gut check time. Look inside yourself. Each player look inside yourself. What are you going to do to bounce back?
Well, the Red tonight. The Red division has their league games on Thursday night.
Yes,
they have their league games. So very interesting games. Couple I'm looking forward to. You got Lake Orion, Oxford in the white. You got
that's always a good game, dude.
Yeah, that's the most
always exciting.
That's the most interesting game in the white division.
Okay.
The Red.
You said is at Lake Orion?
At Lake Orion.
Okay.
The Red. I think Royal Oak Clarkston, that's going to be a really interesting one because I'm curious to see how John Wire matched up with Samantha Potter.
Okay.
Be curious to see how that one goes.
Did you say it was on the road?
It is at Clarkston.
Oh, at Clarkston. I was going to say, okay.
And then, of course, the Blue, not really an interesting matchup to watch. I mean, but either way, but I still think the most interesting ones on the docket are those games. Also, another one in the Red I think is going to be interesting is Bloomfield Hills and North Farmington. That'll be very interesting.
Okay.
Because I'm curious to see how North Farmington can handle Jordan Banks in the interior. So I'll be curious to see how that one goes.
So everybody shuts down, right? Over the holidays?
Not exactly.
Or are they playing some tournaments?
There's some teams that play some tournaments. You got the Bloomfield Hills Showcase coming up. You got North Farmington, West Bloomfield, and Clarkson playing that.
Okay.
You got the Motor City Round Ball. Boys are at Ferndale. The girls are at Warren Lincoln. That's coming up during the break. Couple teams are playing in that. Of course, Southfield A&T usually plays in that.
Yeah. How's A&T doing?
The girls?
Yeah, yeah.
Very good. I told you. They beat Carmen Ainsworth.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, they were the early stages of that discussion.
Early stages of discussion, yes.
Okay.
So, so you're looking forward to Christmas?
Yeah, I mean, stress. There's always stress around the holidays, and but I'm looking to try to put my feet up, take a breath, cook a turkey, eat a turkey.
And the bowl games.
And the bowl games, yeah. It's odd, though, flipping around the last, week and a half, bowl games already.
Yeah, underway.
It just seems too early. I just can't get into it until I have some turkey and some carols.
The Oakland County Wrestling meets this weekend.
Oh, already?
Yeah, the Oakland County Wrestling meets
this weekend?
Yep, it is. You have
Friday and Saturday before Christmas.
Yep. Some of the teams will be at Lake Orion. Some of the teams will be at Southfield Arts and Tech. And then they all merge against at Lake Orion on Saturday.
Wow.
Favorite has to be, in my opinion, I think it'll be no by Detroit Catholic Central. But you can't count out Oxford, can't count out Clarkston.
Boy, that crept up kind of fast, didn't it?
It did.
Wow.
But that's gonna be really interesting this weekend over there, the Oakland County wrestling meet there.
Are you looking forward to Christmas?
I am looking forward to Christmas. I think it's gonna be really interesting in my household.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
It's always good. I mean, I don't know how we are on time. How are we on time?
We are looking at 56.
Okay.
Really good.
Yeah, so I'm excited, and we'll be shutting down the show for a week or 2 weeks. When are you coming back? New Year's? The week back after New Year? Yeah.
I think we got one. After New Year's.
I think it's the 3rd. We're coming back. Something like that.
Yeah, so it'll be really interesting to see here. Of course, this will be our last show of 2018.
Yeah. Hey,
before we head
Happy
into
New Year, buddy.
Happy New Year
Happy
to you.
New Year.
Of course, also, if you want to keep an update on the Motor City Roundball, the Bloomfield Hill Showcase, you can stay tuned to my blog at sammysemicolon.blogspot.com.
Yep. And if you have nothing to do, go out and go in person and watch them.
Go out in person and watch them. So, we'll see what happens going forward. This is Sammy Termina here with my good friend Ian Locke here.
Hey.
Signing on off here. Taking care. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everybody. Take care. See y'all next week. See you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Yep.
Bye.
Thanks, Sam. The views on the show are Sam's and his alone. He's a producer,
Of course I am.
We'll see you in 2019. See ya.
Hi, everybody.